So in this vision, I begin in a work environment. There are a few guys together with me. It's not clear if they are friends or co-workers, and I move ahead of that. And I enter this narrow passage. It's either an attic or an air vent, and I'm noticing in different stages of decay these little chupacabra bodies, these little corpses, and they were dying there and crunching under my feet. So I radio back to the guys, then I leave them behind and move forward. The next area, I come to a warehouse slum area, and there's a huge fat man the size of a mountain on the computer with a bottle of lotion on the computer desk, and he gets overwhelmed and he falls in a huge crash and nearly knocks himself out. And as he's getting up, he realizes it wasn't smart. Then I move through a back room of a school. It's kind of a dark area, and I see two older teachers having sex as I pass by. I just kind of move through there, and I exit the school into a parking lot, and the two are dispersing the same way that I go, and the woman is saying, calling to me and saying, I'm good looking, you're good looking, while she's standing there naked, kind of wanting to get my attention. But then the man picks up, he has this apple with him, and he throws it at me, and it hits the ground. It doesn't hit me, and from a distance it looks good, but when I move closer it's kind of soggy and half-eaten, so I drop it. And I move through the city, and a lady is asking around for a blueberry straw, and she kind of asks me, but I don't remember what I said. She said she needs a straw to draw up blueberries, to eat them. Then I keep moving through a city, and I reach this busy area. It's kind of tight, and in the way are two guys walking side by side, kind of blocking it. And I try to squeeze past him, but I bump into a taller one, and he calls to me, and I keep going. He wants my attention. So finally I turn around, and he's holding a gun out. So I know I'm being robbed, but since I don't have anything in my wallet, I hand him my wallet, which is empty, but then he pulls out this lottery ticket, which I forgot that I had, and he takes it. He looks at it and says, well, it's weird. It was made in 2005, but it still has today's date on it, so it's still good. So we're both confused. He takes the ticket, and I keep running. I'm picking up speed, but I'm still in the city, and I'm running over benches and planters, and I see these priests occasionally who are painting blood, their own blood on walls, and they're really weak and moving slow. And others I see sitting on benches bleeding out, blood everywhere, with their older loved ones, and they're just sort of perishing. Then I end up leaving the city, and I'm moving really fast. I'm kind of glide running, and there's an old woman that comes up next to me, and she's running with me. We're gliding. And as we're coming over this hill and the valley opens up, I see these motocross dunes. So motocross is little motorcycles, and you can jump them on the dunes, on ramps. And the old lady asked me, she tells me her name, she asks me a question, but it's time for me to hit the dune. I want to glide. I want to jump up high. So I take the dune, and I'm jumping, I'm gliding in the air, and I'm having so much fun. And then I come down with a thud, but I can still pick up speed, but it's still a bit of a shock. And I have to ask the lady to repeat herself. So my interpretation of the dream, based upon the dying corpses of chupacabras at the beginning, and the symbol of wisdom and speed at the end, is that these are the things that can delay or distract or cause us to abandon our race that's there before us, to our crown. The first item is jobs, relationships, people. The pack that we're used to, that we're familiar with, these can be like rubber bands that hold us backwards. They hold us in place, and we have to be able to walk away and detach from them. The second item is lack of discipline or addictions, pushing too hard. So we need to be aware of how we're spending our time and using our energy wisely. The next thing is being sexually attracted to and distracted by that, or envy and comparison with what others people seem to have or where they are in their race. The next thing is trying to make things easy for others. And if we try to make things easy for others, they don't develop the skills to be able to interpret their own dreams and have their own strong prayer life. And they stay on milk, and we're holding them back, or we hold ourselves back if we don't use our own tools and develop those skills that need to be there. for God to speak to us. The next is activating wicked people. If we're not living blameless, we're going to agitate someone and we're going to have to deal with them, because God typically doesn't just let us turn our back. If someone is attaching to us, whether it's a troll or just someone that doesn't like what you said, being aware of that how we deal with others is fair and righteous. But if we come under blame, then we're going to have to deal with that situation. It's going to slow us down. The next is vanity and public martyrdom, which is kind of a simple concept. But if we try to plant ourselves at any point along our race, we're giving up the rest of the race, the whole point of being there, our purpose. And we think we're establishing, and even if that becomes somewhat successful, that's not the intended destination. So we need to be able God to use us to start a project, but He needs to be able to pull us out, because He'll have the next exercise or lesson waiting for us. And sometimes we get hung up in a lesson thinking it's our life. And the final one is just to carry wisdom, not to seek thrills. This isn't a vacation, it's a dedication to ourself. And our better self is waiting for us on the other side of that. We have to match up to that. That's our marriage that we need to be focused on. And once we align with that, everything else will start to come in. But God's holding back these things that we desire for our party, our rebirth. That way He knows He can lead us to the things that we want. We can attract them more powerfully, and we keep them because we are coming from the right place. We're there to serve others, and it's all our piece of the puzzle fulfilled.